the city would continue to grow.
73 citizen riots.
Come and get us! Throw down your weapons and prepare to be judged! Judge this!
Quits adjourned.
Good day, and welcome to the new iteration of the Cinema Schlock Society. Today, on the Cinema Schlock Society, we will examine a film which came during a time when comic book films, well, they were somewhat deemed as cash cows. We were coming off the heels of Batman, and, well, he was doing quite well back then, wasn't he? Well, the film in question that we are going to delve into attempted to cash in on the still consistently successful, yet oddly monotone, would we say monotone? I'd say more, well, he's not exactly glib, is he? More like a monument from Easter Island if he just had a stroke. That is a very good metaphor, yeah. Sylvester Stallone, usually he has always been at his best when he does his work that is most personal. Of course, recent examples, Rocky Balboa in Creed, and even in fact the very first Rocky film, were very personal films to him, and you can tell. Whenever he's doing something personal, that's when he always seems to shine the most. However, when it's just a simple cash cow in his eyes, he tends to let his ego get the better of him, or at least reportedly that was the case in the following film, which at the time was trying to cash in on this recent underground comic book cinema craze, which kicked off thanks to films such as The Crow, and a bunch of films that came out later. That also were based on underground comics, which didn't really do that well. If you were actually paying attention to the title of this particular video when you clicked on it, is the film Judge Dredd, the underground comic sensation that has been in circulation in the publication 2000 AD, which was created by John Wagner and Carlos Esquerra. Just feels good to say it. Esquerra. And this is the film in question we are going to examine today. Now, before we start, it is a classic tradition of the Cinema Schlock Society that we actually get into some of the facts about this particular film. First off, that's a very good start. In the comics, Judge Dredd has never removed his helmet. Never once. In fact, there was a particular incident where, when he did, it was censored. As it turned out, Judge Dredd was the descendant of the Muslim prophet Muhammad, apparently. Now, during the incinerator scene, the scene where they're running into dodging the ball of flame, Sylvester Stallone's back was slathered in flame-retardant jelly. His colleague, Rob Schneider, was most definitely not. I see no problem with this. The film was directed by Danny Cannon, and he intended this film, much like the studios, to make a film that was PG-13. However, in lieu of many valiant attempts to pare the film down, the film ultimately could not avoid an R rating, and many people associated with the film believe that this was the thing that killed the film's financial prospects. Though co-creator John Wagner praised the film's production design, which frankly to me looks like someone sprayed Skittles diarrhea all over the Blade Runner sets, he did follow up by lambasting the film by saying that, well, despite the fact he actually did approve of Stallone's casting, the film in question was a very poor representation of his baby. Rob Schneider fell down a flight of stairs during this production. As of yet, there is no footage of this. This needs to be found. The character he played in the film, Fergie, though a familiar character in the comics, In the novelization and the graphic novel adaptations of the film, Fergie dies from his stomach wounds, as people are wont to do when they're shot in the gut with a high-caliber round multiple times by a war robot. As with usual with the Cinema Schlock Society, we have a panel of people we decide to subject to the experience, and this is your panel. I request all of you say your names.
Michelle.
Brian. Sam.
Chris.
Very good. Lovely to meet you all. Now, what exactly was your first exposure to this film?
I've actually not seen the original, admit it. Although it is one of those things in culture that is just so pervasive that one always possesses knowledge of it and elements of the film and stories without having to actually watch it. So that is probably that's my experience with it.
I definitely saw this movie back in the day. I believe it was 96 when it first hit the movie channels, and I'm going to be honest, when I first saw the movie, I liked it. It was great. It was made during a time when I really loved the early 90s and late 80s action films, and I really very much enjoyed it. It was also my introduction to Judge Dredd. Of course, when I read the comics, I was like, oh yeah, this is a little bit different from the movie. Of course, the later movie is definitely the superior one, but I like it for the nostalgic purposes as well as some of the really good hammy lines in it.
I saw this movie in the Dollar Theater at a midnight showing, and I had not had any knowledge of the comics beforehand, and I came away from this movie going, wow, that was a great comedy.
I did see the movie before, not when it first came out, most likely on television. So there was, obviously some stuff edited out. Later I've seen it on home video. It's not anything that I've found to be the best in any sense, but, it's got its enjoyable moments, especially if you're willing to take it in a comedic manner.
Very interesting. You all have a very, varied history with this film. By varied, I mean pretty much what you'd expect to hear from people who were raised at that time, except for you, the little girl person. I will not delay you any further. I will subject you all to the film in question, and we will see you in due course. You have survived, and apparently we've also brought in some additional panelists. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Alicia.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Hi, I'm Victoria.
What was your reaction to the film?
Blood Alcohol's at about a 0.2, so I still like it.
The law was broken, that's all I have to say.
Judge Dredd, post-apocalyptic vision, or...
Very good. Now discuss it amongst yourselves.
Alright, one thing that I really do like about the Judge Dredd movie, even after reading some of the comics, is that it has some of the stories from the comics, and it's just that it's more bullet points than anything else. If there's anything to take from this movie, it's that it at least does that, and that's one thing I appreciate about the movie.
I can definitely say that the production values were very high. A lot of good work went into it. It's just one of those movies that misses the mark. They tried, they got a lot of good in there, but overall it's just kind of a miss. But entertaining.
This is my first time ever seeing the movie, and hopefully my last time ever seeing the movie would also be a good way of describing it. The movie was bearable because I was with friends who made a lot of jokes, and the jokes is what made the movie hilarious. Costuming was awesome. They clearly put a lot of thought into the design and the stylistic, but the script, like the words the actors had to actually say to carry on a plot line that I seem to have missed, just didn't seem to be there.
Like they said earlier, definitely take it as a comedy. That is probably the best way to receive it. I, after watching this film, find it difficult to interpret it as anything else. I was also, throughout the movie, counting the number of things they did right with costumes. I think it was 5. makeup looked great. Makeup was fantastic. But there were some questionable decisions being made.
No, I also have never seen this movie. I probably will not again. I did have parts of the plot explained as they were happening, but I don't think that really helped.
No, it didn't.
No. The costumes looked great. Like I said, this was a very good-looking movie. I'm just not sure. I think if they'd taken the actors out, it would have been great.
Yes.
I saw the new one, the new Judge Dredd, and I really liked it, and that's completely different than this one. So, like, to compare them, wow, I guess it was like cheesy. Like the set, I like the set. Though I can give them the set, and like I didn't like the costumes. I know you guys like the costumes, but like there's some like horny costumes. But like it reminded me of like The Fifth Element.
Actors in this film. There are some fantastic actors in this film, and you could see halfway through their performances, the looks on their faces were, why am I doing this?
And I would strongly encourage, if you do decide to watch this movie, alcohol. I just like as a minimum requirement. Like some people like popcorn or candy with their movie. I just beer, wine, liquor, whatever your preference is.
I was going to say something a little stronger.
Yeah, like no, this is a personal choice that you have to make at the time that you watch this movie, but it is a choice that I strongly encourage.
Yes.
Trained bloody actor. Oh. I didn't finish college.
Highly recommend copious amounts of alcohol, like a lot. Like just a lot of it. You know? Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, I just had to get that in there.
Just post-Rocky depression. That's it.
Less acting would have made the movie better, yeah. Yeah.
I leave you now as I prepare more entries for more meetings of the Cinema Schlock Society. Keep your eyes here on Narcotic Casserole for future installments of the Cinema Schlock Society as we delve into... I've decided I'm not going to tell you. Like, share, subscribe, because after all that's what the cool kids are doing. Oh God, what have I done with my life? It's only going to get maybe 10 hits, probably.